Fargo leading by a score of 3-1, but Sioux City, they got that teddy bear toss goal with 9 seconds left to go in the first. So hopefully that might give them a little momentum heading into the second period. So they're down by 2. We'll switch sides. Okay, started the screen recording, so I think what I need to do, because the screen recording from the first period didn't save, so if something happens with the first period and like half the period's cut off, well, you know why. And we don't have the footage to back it up, so let's hope that uploads normally. Brooks Cullen will take the draw with Trey Jeffress. Poliski's in the box, so Fargo has a power play for a minute 58 into this second. So it really should be a minute and 57, but you know, whatever. 1 second differential. Can't really complain about that one too much, I don't think. Here's Mason West with it behind the net. Feeds it on over to Lofgren towards the blue line. Lofgren tipped all the way out towards center ice. Luke Gary applying pressure now, as he should. Under pressure. Okay, sorry. Taken there by Cherney. Cherney out towards center ice. Boy, it was a... Here's Luke Gary off the boards out towards center. Picked up by Mason West. Now Jones with it there towards center. Jones crosses the blue line there for West. Feeds it back in behind the net. Excuse me, Lofgren. Down there in the corner. Luke Gary was there. So is Jones. Gets back towards Lofgren at the blue line. Lofgren. Down there in the corner. Couldn't tell who that is. Like I said, gray numbers on a black background. That's the perfect combination. Here's Cherney with it. Cherney. Tipped into the hands of Mason West. Dragged out towards center. 45 seconds left to go on the Fargo power play. Excuse me. That means that chicken sandwich was good. Here's Mason West with it. West feeds it on over to Jones. Jones. On back there for Greeter at the blue line. Greeter back for Jones. Here's Jones to Greeter. Fires. Blocked in front. Rebound loose. Shot went wide. Here's Greeter out towards the blue line there for McCrate. View got in his way. That's West with it. Tipped out in front. Greeter now on over McCrate in the corner for Mason West. Here's West. A shot save made by Thorne, and he covers it up. Nicely done, Jack Thorne. I still got a couple bites left of my chicken sandwich, so let me eat that quick. Face-off will come to the right of Thorne. Okavita will take the draw with McNamara. Just like that, Muskies are back at full strength. As they should. Here's McCrate with it down back there behind the net. Greeter was there, and then Poliski just smashed McCrate into the boards. He deserved it, though. Don't worry. Gold down there in the corner. Rolls back behind the net of Thorne. Gold. Kosiba trying to catch his fancy tricks, but it didn't work. Here's Okavita dragged down into the corner. Back behind the net there was Greeter. Greeter now McNamara to around for Geiger. Off of Okavita's hand. Back behind the net. Bailey was there. Bailey in the corner behind the net. Over the stick of Okavita. Okavita tipped out towards center off the glove of Gold. Gold feeds it on over Dakota Bailey. Stays around center. Tepley tries to knock it in. Bailey sends it into the stick of White. White tried to drag it away, but it was an odd angle shot from Bailey that was stopped by White. White got down just in time. Here's a shot saved by White from Lenny Geiger.
If we score a goal, every goal in this period, 2 people will be called to win a free single ice cream and scoops above 102. Go sign up at 106 for your free.
I would love some ice cream, but I didn't enter into the drawing, so. I guess I'm missing out. Here's Perot with it. Perot feeds it on over to Marchenko in the circle. Marchenko back out Sagan and spins around a defender. That's Jeffress. Jeffress back there for Marchenko. Down there in the corner. Here's Jeffress firing a shot, went wide. Taken by Tolan. Tolan, pass got blocked by Potter. Forced towards center. Marchenko, pass across there for Kevin Perot. Sagan in now. Tess handles this one. Tess, the shot save made by Victor. Now taken back by Okavita the other way. Although he basically ran into a storm of Force players, so that wasn't going to work very well. But View keeps it in. View, pass across to Tomko. There's Tomko tipped in front by Jeffress. It was blocked. Now puck is flying high in the air. Batted down by Jeffress. Back behind the net. Here's Jeffress back out for Carr. Shot got blocked there. Now it's Sagan back the other way. Here he comes 3-on-2. Sagan pass across to Gavin Core. Core, a shot got blocked. Nicely done by Christian Lyons. And Tomko will dump it back in behind the net of A.J. White. Here's Lofgren. Sending it into the stick there of Brady Zugic. Gold will send it back in behind the net of White. Here's View with it now. Lofgren sends him into the boards. Tomko back there for Bayless. A shot over the head of A.J. White. Here's Gold again. Getting a stick on it was Core. Now it's Zugic back the other way towards center. Here's View. Out there in front. Nice pass. Tepley, he fanned on the shot. Tepley back there. Bailey. Another shot went wide. Here's Bailey. Feeds it on over to Gold. Gold behind the net. There, Bailey couldn't get a handle on it. Zaid Penner with it off the boards out towards center. Tomko was there, although he was taken down by, I believe that was Newski. Now here's a pass to View. A shot save made by White. Here's Sipnewski with it up the left side. Tepley in his way, forcing him to dump it back behind the net. Poyer is there. Poyer feeds it on over to Tepley at center. Tepley off the boards, back behind the net. White will handle it. White sends it around the glass. Picked up there by Max Anderson. Now taken back the other way. Graham Jones. Here's Jones. Mason West spins around Stanger, although didn't handle the pass. Here's McCrate with it, feeding it on over for Cherney behind the net. Vic Thorne gets a little stick on it and sends it into the corner. Popped up into the air. Poyer was there. Now take it back the other way. Here's Max Anderson. Anderson, of course, scored the teddy bear toss goal. Hopefully, well, if he could get two, that would be kind of nice. Here's Booten with it down there in the corner. Booten taken by Colin McCrate. Jones out towards the blue line for Mason West. West sends it down into the glove of Vic Thorne, and I think he's just going to hold on to it. Smart man. 13-16 left to go in the second period. Fargo still leading by 2. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Also the wrong ad.
There are theories why the Track 2, the new two-bladed razor from Gillette, gives you such a close shave. Let me tell you about one of them. We know first blade cuts your whisker. It can also lift it out a little from below the skin, exposing extra whisker. Now, if the theory is right, before that whisker snaps back, the second blade comes along and can shave that extra whisker. The new Gillette Track 2 twin-blade shaving system. We think it's one blade better.
Turn off because that caused all kinds of problems tonight. Puck will be sent down there. Marchenko behind the net. Marchenko down there in the corner. Here's McNamara with it now with Tavares. Tavares batted in there by Tavares. Batted in there by Marchenko. Here's McNamara. Pass across Marchenko. Here's McNamara, pass across into the hands of Perot. Throw that phone into the wall. There's a shot save made by Jack Victor. Throw that phone into the wall. There's a shot save made by Jack Victor. Here, let's... Face-off will come to the left of Victor. Face-off's one. Here's Greeter with the Greeter. Down there with Sagaden. Sagaden. That one's poked in by Tess. Tess back behind the net there. Now is Jeffress. Jeffress rolls out towards center. Jeffress feeds it off the boards down into the corner. There's Greeter with it. Greeter sends it out there for Tess. Excuse me. Poliski whacks it towards center. There now is Luke Gary with it. Gary down there in the corner. Sagaden is there. Sagaden picked up by Tupley. Tupley sent for Jeffress. Here's Jeffress now. Poliski with it. Crossing the blue line. He gets it. Puck taken there. Lofgren. Now it's Potter with it. Potter. Nice moves. He gets tripped up, and there's a penalty coming up on Fargo. Muskies will have the power play. Maybe this is what they needed. Turn the tides in their favor. Tolan goes into the box. 8:16 time of the penalty. Sorry, bro, but you can't do that. Tripping is the call. Well, here's Gold with it. Gold getting it on. Here to Luke Gary. Down there, Jeffress in front. Oh, Anderson almost kicked. Well, I don't know if it would have counted anyway. But here's Tomko with it. Tomko down there in the circle. Tomko back up for Gold. Gold on across. Luke Gary, one-time shot went wide. Here's Tomko on back there for Jeffress. Jeffress in the circle. Pass across to Luke Gary. Tipped in front. Went off a couple of Fargo force skates. It gets back to Shane Gold towards the blue line. Gold now. Tomko one-time shot got blocked in the stick of Jeffress. Was stopped by White. Here's Jeffress with it now. Jeffress sent down there. Tomko in the corner. Tomko now. Jeffress gets it out. Jeffress pass across to Luke Gary. Shot save made by White. Here's Gary again. And that'll roll down ice. Well, a good start to the power play here for Sioux City. Let's see if they can keep it up. They only recorded one shot on that. That was at least maybe 2 or 3. But whatever. Here's Tupley with it. Tupley feeds it on over to Dallas View at the point. View escapes from a couple of Fargo force defenders. Geiger popped up into the air, and Marchenko will clear it down ice. Vic Thorne will get it behind the net. Feeds it on over to Stanger. Now Tupley has this one. Stanger feeds it on back to View. View there for Potter. Potter crosses the blue line. Then he gets ran into by Lofgren, and Marchenko sends it down ice once again. It'll be handled by Vic Thorne. Vic Thorne sends it up the left side to Geiger. Now here's Tupley with it. Geiger feeds it on back to Stanger. Here's Stanger. Nice moves. Crosses the blue line. Here's Stanger on back Dallas View. He gets taken down by McNamara. No penalty called, of course, because why would they call it? And Marchenko clears it again. Fargo at full strength. Well, it was a good first half of that power play, but then Fargo just kind of took over from there. So now that's officially 0-for-1 for Sioux City on the power play. McCrate out there towards center. McCrate feeds it now into the hands of Perot. Perot out towards center, tipped by Booten. Bailey taken there by Perot. Down there in the corner, Perot. Sipniewski now taken there by Gavin Carr. Sends it wide of A.J. White. Picked up there by Cullen McCrate. McCrate back behind the goal. Perot feeds it on over to West. Mason West into the hands of Dakota Bailey. He sends it wide of A.J. White. Perot with it now. Batted down. Sipniewski. Carr into the seats and out of play. 8:54 left to go here in this second. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
You're looking at a stability test of the new Goodyear custom wide tread radial tire. Watch. 4 Goodyear stabilizer belts on the tread keep it flat on the road by handling and long mileage. You see how the polyester sidewalls flex in the turns to absorb the side forces and help the driver keep control. A long mileage Goodyear custom wide tread radial tire made for American cars.
And let's talk about a revenge game. A hero
Welcome back, everybody. 8:54 left to go here in the second period. Fargo still up 3-1. They've kind of taken over, which not good, but you know, it's early, so. But it's okay. Face-off will come right in front of the Musketeers bench. It's driving me out of my mind. Face-off will come in front of the Musketeers bench. Tomko will take the draw with Cullen, or Mattern. No, that is Cullen. I was right. Well, when you got that, those gray numbers in that, on that black jersey. You don't want to see me, you know that. Jones. I'm back from McCrate at the blue line. McCrate. Feeds it on back. Turn there for me. Puck's in a scramble forward down there in the corner. Here's Tupley with it. Tupley. Well, now they got it just stuck down there. Normally you'd blow a whistle, but I guess you're not going to do that. So, yeah, here's McCrate with it out towards center. McCrate feeding it on over here for McCrate once again. McCrate will send it down into the corner. Cherney will be there. Cherney off the boards. That'll go for an icing.
Icing brought to you by Game Venture Staffing. Welcome some groups tonight in our Fremont Tire Gold Book. They're one of our favorite groups every year. I'm talking about K&B Trucking. Where are you at, K&B Trucking?
There. Here's View. Here's View out towards center. View feeds it on to Musket. Musket